episode 3 of Body Language TV. I'm your host, Don Corey, and today we're going to continue our conversation about the Massachusetts special election between Scott Brown and Martha Coakley. Now, in the last episode, we focused on the gestures of the two candidates. In this episode, we're going to focus primarily on the appearance of the candidates as well as the environment of both debates. Now, this is not an age where the merits of a politician's argument or stance on the issues is going to get them very far. That's why we rarely ever see candidates, or winning candidates for that matter, with beards, hats, or colored shirts. Now, that being said, what we're going to do is start off with a couple of slides, and we're going to look at Scott Brown and the introduction of him in both the first and second debates. And I want you to look for his teeth when he smiles, look for the color of his tie, and as well, look at the dress he's wearing, the suit, and you can tell that it's nice and tight and tailored to his body. Okay, so take a look at those. Did you see the color of Scott Brown's tie? Yeah, it's the same color. It's probably the same tie. Now, do you think it's because he couldn't afford another tie? No. The color of the tie is very important in how he's perceived by the people out there. Now, in a future episode, we're actually going to go into all the different colors, so I don't want to go too much into the tie thing right now. Now, let's look at Martha Coakley. Now, when the clips I'm going to show you are the same, her intro pictures for both debates. Now, I want you to look at three things. One, her smile again. Watch for her teeth. Look for the fact that she's swimming in her outfit. And the third thing I want you to look at is her hair. And watch that her hair is actually covering her forehead. So let's take a look at this. Did you see the hair? Well, here's the thing. Most of the women who are in the U.S. Senate, look at this, don't have their hair covering their forehead. Why? Because people want to see your forehead. They want to see your face. They want to know you. They don't want you covered up. Okay, so now let's look at the environment. In debate 1, I'm going to show you 3 slides here. And what I want you to look for are a couple of things. One, the posture of the candidates, and as well where their hands are placed. So let's take a look. Now let's look at debate 2. And in debate 2, I want you to look at the hands again. Okay, so Martha Coakley having her hands like this all the time does not come across very well to the people watching the debates. Is there a solution to that? Well, yes, there's a very simple solution. And in fact, if we look at the vice presidential debate last year, and I'm going to show you a slide that's going to highlight what they did with Sarah Palin. Take a look. Okay, so I think that slide speaks for itself. So what happened here? Let's bring it all together. As I talked about in the first episode, just prior to the first televised debate, Martha Coakley was leading in the polls. And just a few days later, after the second televised debate, Scott Brown was leading in the polls and held that lead through the election the following week and was victorious in the election. Now, I don't think Martha Coakley should be blamed for the loss of the Democratic Party in Massachusetts. As I said, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, but I think that there was too much at stake for too many people to have the responsibility fall on one person's shoulders. Martha Coakley either should have been trained better or not debated Scott Brown. She would have won, I believe, had she not debated him, although there would have been a serious fallout, but I don't think she would have lost the election. This was not a war of ideas. This was a war of images. A war Scott Brown and his team clearly won. Now, in our next episode, we're going to address the 7 most important gestures you need to know to communicate your message in a positive way. So please comment on this episode. I look forward to reading those comments, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.